So Thailand's nightlife industry has been covered in thousands of YouTube videos. The surface mechanics, bar fines, lady drinks, short time versus long time are documented in hundreds of forum posts and articles. In this video, I will ignore all of that. These are 5 topics that only become visible once you understand the ecosystem well enough to know what you're exactly looking at. Number 1. The mama-san is the most powerful person at the bar. The mama-san is almost universally described sort of as a floor manager or a matchmaker. That framing wildly undersells what she actually is. A shadow banker, a debt holder, a scheduler with leverage, and often the person extracting the highest margin from the entire operation, including from the bar owner. Here's the layer most people miss. Mama-sans routinely run informal lending operations within the bar ecosystem. Women need money, whether it be for rent, remittances, for a motorbike, for a sick relative, and they need it faster than their commission income arrives. The mama-san provides it at interest and recoups directly from earnings. This creates a debt bondage light situation that isn't coercive in a dramatic sense, but is structurally very binding. A woman who owes her mama-san money does not leave that bar easily, and she does not refuse shifts, and she does not complain about working conditions. Beyond loans, the mama-san controls scheduling, which in a commission-only environment is the same as controlling income. She decides who gets placed at the front of the room on busy nights and who gets put in the back. She decides which girls get introduced to high-spending regulars. She takes a cut, sometimes formal, sometimes informal, from the private arrangements her introductions produce. She is functionally running a staffing agency and a loan operation simultaneously. Inside a bar she doesn't own, and she's usually better paid than anyone except the owner. The best mama-sans are also intelligence operations. They know which regulars are rich, which are lonely, which are manageable, and which will cause problems. They coach the women under them on client management. In higher-end establishments, a good mama-san is the primary reason customers keep coming back. Not the decor, not the music, not even the women specifically. She is the relationship infrastructure of the entire venue. Number 2, most working girls are totally broke. This is one of the most counterintuitive features of the whole ecosystem, and it's almost never discussed directly. A woman working consistently in a Bangkok or Pattaya bar, managing a few regulars, getting bar fined several times a week, running her own lady drink commissions, can earn in a month what would take her a year in a rice field in Isan or 6 months in a factory in Chonburi. By provincial Thai standards, the income is significant. And yet the overwhelming pattern is that these women have no savings, carry debt, and are financially precarious in ways that don't match their earnings. Several mechanisms drive this simultaneously. Remittance obligations are not optional. Sending money home to parents isn't culturally framed as generosity. It's sort of like a duty, and the amount expected tends to creep upwards as the family calibrates its expectations to what it believes the daughter is earning. The family often doesn't know exactly how the money is made. Frequently, they don't even ask, but they do notice if it stops arriving. Second, peer consumption norms inside the industry can be brutal. Appearance maintenance, hair, skin, clothing, phones, is both a professional requirement and a social competition. Women in the scene are surrounded by other women spending aggressively. The cultural pressure to present well is intense and ongoing. Then we have partying and drinking. You will be surprised as to how many working girls actually run a spending deficit. I know girls that earn, 6,000 Thai baht, that's close to $200 on any given day, but at the end of that day, they go out and spend 8,000 baht, which is roughly $250. And they do so regularly. Next up, gambling. This is spoken about very little in Western accounts of the industry, but informal gambling, card games, sports betting, online platforms, runs through the bar ecosystem constantly. It's social, it's embedded, and it's a reliable mechanism for transferring earnings back out of the worker's hands. Then we have the loan cycle. Once a woman is in debt to a mama-san or a loan shark, and sometimes these overlap, a meaningful percentage of every month's income goes to service that debt before it reaches her. Given the interest rates involved, 20% monthly is not unusual in the informal lending scene. This can be very difficult to escape. The result is women who have been in the industry for 5 or 10 years with essentially nothing to show in asset terms. This matters for understanding the ecosystem because it means the industry retains workers not through satisfaction or high earnings alone, but through the structural impossibility of leaving, debt obligations, family dependencies, and the absence of any comparable earning alternative make exiting it very difficult even for women who want to do so. Number 3, Line Messenger app and the private client pipeline. This is the most underreported structural change in the industry over probably the last decade, and it has nothing to do with COVID specifically. It predates the pandemic and accelerated through it. Line Messenger app, the dominant messaging app in Thailand, has effectively created a parallel industry running alongside the bar scene. The logic is simple. A woman who meets a foreign client in a bar exchanges line details and maintains that relationship independently, and has essentially cut out the bar, the mamazan, and the bar fine entirely. The client who sends money via line pay or bank transfer is paying her directly. There is no venue taking a percentage, there's no mamazan extracting a cut from the introduction. From the woman's perspective, a small stable of line clients, men who send monthly support, whether it be from Australia, the UK, Germany, etc., can generate income that rivals or exceeds full-time bar work with a fraction of the hours and none of the overhead. The maintenance cost is relatively low. Regular messages, photos, voice notes, the ongoing performance of personal connection. Women who are good at this are running something that looks, from the outside exactly like several long-distance relationships. It is from the inside sort of like a client management operation. Bar owners and mamazans are aware of this, of course, and there's a structural tension around it. Some bars had informal policies against exchanging contact with the girls on premise. Some mamazans monitor for it, but realistically, in practice, enforcement is essentially impossible. The women who are best at the private pipeline are often also the best performers in bar, because the same interpersonal skills drive both. What this means practically for the visiting tourist is that the women you meet at the bars who seem the most genuinely warm and personally engaged are disproportionately likely to already have a well-developed private client operation running. The warmth is real, the exclusivity is not. Number 4, Thailand bars ownership structure. Thailand's Foreign Business Act prohibits foreigners from owning most retail and service businesses outright, which means the majority of bars in nightlife districts are either Thai-owned or foreign operated through nominee structures that are technically illegal but functionally tolerated. The nominee structure typically works like this. A Thai national, sometimes a genuine partner, sometimes a paid front, holds the registered ownership of the business. The foreign operator provides the capital, makes the operational decisions, and it extracts the profits through salary, management fees, or informal mechanisms. The Thai nominee holds legal exposure but is compensated for the risk. Everyone knows how this works. It is not investigated aggressively unless the operation attracts attention for other reasons. This has real implications for how disputes are typically resolved. A foreign quote-unquote owner who has a falling out with his Thai nominee has essentially no legal recourse. The nominee owns the business on paper. There are a significant number of cases where long-running bars have been lost this way. It also means that the visible western face of the bar, the expert sitting at the end of the bar who seems to run the place, may or may not have any form of ownership interest at all. At the top of the capital stack, a meaningful portion of the most profitable venues in Bangkok and Pattaya are owned by Thai investors and business people who have no visible connection to the nightlife industry in their public lives. The structure of that money is opaque by design and doesn't particularly benefit from scrutiny, which is part of why it doesn't get much. And number 5, Thailand Nightlife 2-tier system, foreigners versus Thai. Most guys going to Thailand see Thai nightlife as a single market that is oriented towards foreign customers. It isn't. There is a substantial and largely separate Thai male market running alongside the foreigner-facing one, and in many cities it's larger in volume terms. Thai male customers in the industry tend to use different venue types. karaoke bars with hostesses, certain massage establishments, short-time hotels that aren't on any tourist map, and are served by different women at different price points with different social rituals. The fishbowl go-go bar format, Soy Cowboy, is almost in, exclusively foreign-facing construction. Thai men, by and large, don't use it. Within venues that do serve both markets, the separation is often just physical. There will be a front room, the one with the stage, the English menus, the prices in round numbers. That is the tourist-facing surface. Behind it or upstairs or accessible through a side door, there is frequently a different room with different pricing, different women, and a Thai language operation that runs on entirely different social logic. This isn't about one being better than the other. It's about two different customer bases with different cultural expectations being served simultaneously without much crossover. The practical implications for foreign visitors is that the establishment you think you're in is sometimes a subset of the establishment that actually exists. The prices you're quoted and the women you see represent the cultural facing, foreigner facing layer is, it's just that one version of that establishment. What the business actually is, economically and operationally, may be considered broader or something completely different than what you see as a tourist. The more time you spend understanding this whole industry from the inside out, the depth structures, the communication infrastructure, and also the shadow economics of the mama-san, the ownership structure, and what I've just described, the parallel Thai market for Thai men, the more it looks less like a tourist amenity and more like a complex informal economy with its own sort of like internal logic and power hierarchies. It operates that way because that's really what it is in a way. Seeing it clearly is more useful, I think, and more respectful to everyone involved than just romanticizing the whole thing. Now, if you'd like to watch 100+ additional videos that are not suitable for YouTube, or you plan a Thailand trip and have questions, or you simply want to join our uncensored Telegram group, head over to kingepic.com/YT. That's also a great way to support the channel if you are a fan or if you found the video useful. In case you haven't noticed, this channel is not monetized, no ads, because what I cover in my videos is not suitable for advertisers. So thanks, and see you in the next video.